Polyglot Frank here, welcome back. Let's go ahead and check the topic on unlocking the polyglot path. What is a polyglot? Some people think that a polyglot is someone who speaks two or three languages, that it doesn't have like a definition. The truth is, for someone who speaks two languages, they call them bilingual. If you speak three languages, they call you trilingual. So a polyglot has to be with someone who speaks even more or multiple languages. So some people say a polyglot is someone who speaks multiple languages fluently. So this also brings the question what fluently means to them, right? Some people say you could learn to the intermediate level. Some other people have say that you have to be like a master in those languages, okay? And other people think that you can know the basics and that's it. Okay, I personally think that a polyglot is someone who speaks more than three languages and in a fluent way that they can communicate effectively with with the other people in their languages. So if you can communicate effectively, right, you already speak fluently. Like for example, let's say you want to work in a let's say for example in a call center, they require you to speak Spanish, for example. But this Spanish that you know, it's not like you know a lot. It's not like you know everything, but but the vocabulary that you're gonna handle in a call, for example, it's not the daily vocabulary, right? It's just the a work environment vocabulary. You're gonna say things like, "Oh, I'm very sorry. Thank you very much for calling," things like that. And I don't know if it has happened to you that you call a service, you call to get a service, and you hear someone with an accent, which is normal, right? Because if it's someone who is not like a native language speaker, is gonna have an accent because he speaks another language. Okay, so this person that is on the phone, he doesn't know everything, or she does, you know what I mean? But he or she knows the vocabulary needed to be performing this skill, right? So this is when I say, if you can communicate effectively in the area you want to communicate, then this counts as a language. Okay? All right. So why this matters? Okay? This matters a lot. It opens a lot of doors. Okay? If you travel, it is very convenient for you because you're not gonna be in another country, basically having an interpreter or having someone that speaks for you, or someone can that basically has to be around you all the time, or maybe that you have to speak a lot with people and maybe you're not getting the help you want because you don't know the languages that they speak. At least if you even know the basics, it's gonna help you, right? Because again, maybe you're gonna be over there a week, for example, and you're just gonna need the language for only 1 week, and just knowing the basics is gonna be enough. All right. I personally say that if you can communicate effectively, right, the things that you have in your mind, you have this language in this count as one language. Okay. But this matters a lot. A lot of people learn languages because they want to get another job, they want to get another opportunity when it comes to a work environment. And sometimes for you to be able to grow, you need to show that you know more languages. This is in some scenarios, okay? Also, this helps to understand other cultures. When you know their language, when you know basically um, the verbs that they have, what verbs exist in their country, what verbs exist in your native language, and you could make, oh, but they say this way. This is what I mean. Okay, it's not like they have different verbs, or that they created some verbs. Okay, but the way they say it, right? You understand. Oh, you could understand their cultural things, right? And it connects you to their language. It's very good. All right. The benefits for adult learners. Okay, not only it improves your memory, right? Your adaptability, your flexibility, right? But it also gives you a lot of confidence, right? It gives you confidence when you know other languages, and sometimes you get to put in practice those languages. And let's say you speak Spanish, and for example, someone gets in, and it's you the only one who can help him, because you speak the language he speaks, and it gives you a lot of confidence, and also adds a lot of value to yourself. Okay, so just for the people that they don't have a lot of confidence, they don't you know they don't have a lot of communication skills. Knowing other languages knowing other languages will give you this confidence, and also it'll help you. You're gonna want to communicate. Okay, this also uh, benefits your communication skills, because when you learn other languages, usually you learn another language based on your native language. You look for the definitions based on your native language, so you can see in your native language what it means in their language, right? So you're actually um, trying to correct sometimes your own native language, because you're studying another language, and you have to learn the grammar. You have to learn how you have to say things, uh, if it's correct, right? Sometimes you notice that you're not speaking correctly when you study another language. So it is very important, actually, to notice these things. Okay. All right. So previewing the polyglot journey. Okay. Here is when you have to have the right goals. Okay. You have to think of a goal that you want to achieve. Okay. Whether it's to travel, whether it is a boyfriend, a girlfriend, right? Whether it is that you want to move to another country, whether it is that you want to study, right, in another country, you have to have a clear goal. And this is one of the most important things. Without clear goals, you're going to start studying today, and maybe the next week you're not going to have the feeling of continuing, because studying a language requires a lot of discipline, requires a lot of you making a lot of mistakes. When you speak, you forgetting things. You have to have the discipline to continue, and you could only achieve this if you have clear goals, right? This is very important. The second thing is build strong foundations. Okay, um, this is very important, because a lot of people, instead of studying the basics, how to say the greetings, how to say basic greetings, basic things, they go ahead and study advanced grammar that is gonna make them uh, jump away from from the language. You have to build a strong foundation and embrace immersion. Okay, the concept of passive immersion. Okay, this doesn't mean that you have to be speaking every day. A lot of people just don't have anybody to speak with, but maybe they have their favorite podcast in that language that they want to listen to every day, and this is giving them a lot of words, a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, right? And little by little, when you are, um, getting into contact with the other language, let's say every day, by a year, by 6 months, based on everybody, right? You're gonna have a good knowledge of that language, okay? And this is one of the most important things. Leverage technology, right? And community for sustained progress. Technology right now, and a lot of communities online, for example, can be a very, very good thing if you can use those things to your advantage. If you can use technologies, for example, AI, right? That you can now speak with AI, you can speak using words, and they can speak back to you, right? It's very good. You have to be able to use all the technology. Back in, a lot of years ago, you had to study with books only and go to a classroom. Now you can learn on the internet. Now you can learn on your phone. This is very, very good. So basically, this is very, very important because if you start studying a language and you're not using technology, you're not using taking the advantage of social media, for example, to get into groups, to communicate with other communities, right? So they can help you. Then it's going to be like you're gonna learn a language the old school way, and maybe your progress is not gonna be that fast. However, if you use the technology, and let's say, for example, you get into YouTube, you're learning with your favorite teacher. You go ahead and when you chat, you made a few friends that you have their phones, and you can chat in the language you want to learn. You're gonna learn more faster than someone that is using just a book. Okay, so you have to use that into your advantage. In the next chapter, we're gonna see how setting clear goals, clear language goals. We're going to learn how to clarify your language motivation, how to set specific targets, how to integrate goals with daily activities. Okay, so we're going to be, and this is basically the course idea of, helping others, because some people want to become a polyglot, but they don't know how to, they don't know how to begin. Okay, they might know the languages that they want to study, but they don't have the motivation, they don't know how the mind, the brain, um, uh, you can motivate it, you can motivate yourself, how to set real goals, how to be like, okay, think about the right things to do, how to start. Some people know how to start, but they don't know how to be consistent. So this course is gonna help you understand a little bit more how to be a polyglot, how to set goals, and we're gonna be talking about each topic individually. Like, share, subscribe if you like the content, so this content reaches other people.